Good morning, family. Peace and blessings. I'm sorry I'm coming to you so late today. I have two young ladies I'm going to share with you today. One is recently missing, one has been missing for some time. I just believe when you're missing, you're missing. And I don't know about y'all, but I grew up in a time when, can't remember the young boy that was missing, and his dad ended up doing the crime show that was on for years. Adam something, I can't remember his name. But I remember him always keeping his son, who never was found, in the forefront of all of his work, because that was something that was dear to his heart. And so for me, because I work so hard and so passionately for black girls and women, I cannot let those who are missing not be valued. Like we don't see them, like them being missing means nothing, because they have no value to us for whatever reasons. I'm going to talk about that a little bit today. But most importantly, what I am going to share, who I am going to share with you, is the two young ladies I have missing. The first young lady you see there on the screen, her name is Ivana. She's 17 years old. She's missing from New Jersey. I was still trying to find more information on her. Wasn't able to find a lot. But that's somebody's daughter. I know that because it was the mother who posted it. And so if you see this young lady, Ivana, 17-year-old, missing from New Jersey, please, 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 family, call 911. Let me just get y'all a good look at this sister's face. She is missing. She is missing. And her name is Ivana. She's 17 years old, and she is missing. And I'm telling y'all, somebody see these young ladies when they're missing. They just don't go missing. Somebody knows where they are. And it is our job to bring them back into our fold, to us, family. That is far too important for us not to do it. They belong to us. They're our babies. And then the next young lady I'm going to share with you all that's missing, she is Jenna Benton, 15 years old, from Toledo, Ohio. She is 5'5", 140 pounds. Somebody has seen this little sister. I'm going to give you a close-up. And these two they favor, she is missing. Her name is Jenna Benton. She's 15 years old. She's from Toledo, Ohio. She's 5'5", 140 pounds. Again, somebody has seen her. Somebody has seen this little sister. People do not vanish into thin air. Not possible, family. Not possible. Somebody has seen her. Somebody has seen her. But I'm going to be very honest with y'all this morning. I'm going to leave that subject for a minute. I also have to reflect when I look at the news. And I think to myself, for the black world, I don't know about other worlds, but it does affect other worlds. I'm talking about in the black world. It's kind of like, when you and your family, you see how things run in your home, and then that ripples out to your communities, right? To how you act at school, on the playground, with your friends, with elders, whatever, in the mall, whatever. It always starts to the root of where what your upbringing has been, Okay, so we didn't want to forget Jenna Benton that's missing. But I also thought this weekend on how the world sees us, and how we treat it lets the world know if we're valued or not as black women. And I thought about that pretty long and hard. I think about that every day of my life. How are we treated? How are we treated? So it brought me to this case. This case is where a group of Arab men, and the owner was in there too, of a store that's in all of the communities where there are black people, other people too, but mainly because people come to America, and they come, all these people of color, so you gotta be careful how you get placed in with people, basically beat and drag these two black women in the store. Now I don't give a damn what they say. I don't know if they were belligerent. It don't even matter. You do not beat and drag a woman by her hair. I seen the video, and I thought to myself, we got 75,000 black girls and women missing, and we're not batting an eye in the black community, because then it says to the rest of the world that we ain't of no value anyway. Let that sink in, family. Let that sink in. How do you drag, two black women like that in the store? And thank God somebody did, they did tape it. But I don't know about y'all, but that image is disturbing for me. That image that another so-called group of color Here we go with this. That's why it's dangerous to use a word. I think that's a dangerous word, of color, because it erases people. And we know that America was founded and still is very much one of the superpowers in the world because of what happened to people who were enslaved in America of African descent. So let's just be very clear about that. And then there's still no value on black girls and women, that they could just beat these two sisters, you know what I mean? And then people got up on Sunday morning and went to church or went to the mosque or went to wherever, because some of them are probably Muslim. And none of this was talked about or heard about, or there was a plan or whatever. Family, the value on black girls and women, it's gotta be better. We have to value the black girl and woman, because if it was not for her, you know, her as a child, her as a young woman, her as a, you know, a teenager or whatever, none of us would really be here. Let's just be honest. You know, none of us would be here. We know that the root of all civilization comes out of the woman. But if your woman, a black woman, is constantly being berated and abused and treated with such disrespect, then what are we to expect? You know, how we expect for the world to value us. You know, I think about in terms of what's happening in the Bahamas. You know, you know how we're being treated in the Bahamas right now. We all go there for vacation. I've been there once on a cruise. You know, but because those are mainly black people, and this picture I'm putting up is them in a makeshift like shelter, like I think it may be a sporting arena or something, maybe a school gym, I don't know. But there's 75,000 of them are homeless right now. You know, why hasn't the world come to their rescue? And don't give me this of color jazz. You know, because when Puerto Rico experienced what they experienced, everybody was all up in arms. But because these are clearly black people, not like somebody had to think maybe I am black. These are people who are clearly black, clearly of African descent. And I just haven't heard like this big outpouring, you know, for them that are missing. I have not. That speaks volumes to me. That speaks volumes. Look at those black faces. That speaks volumes. We gotta do better, family. And I think we gotta report this stuff. Like, I get so tired of people living in it. We just gotta show how great we're doing. Well, a few of us are doing great. But hell, I'm from old school. I can't do great and my sister doing bad and I feel like I'm doing great. That's crazy. That means none of us are doing great, honestly. You know, treatment of black women. You know, in California, they're sterilizing black women in prisons to cut down the cost of welfare. Like, we the only people get welfare. Give me a goddamn break. The hardest working women I know, women working on the planet, are black women. How the hell are you going to sterilize me so I can't have no more children? First, I'm missing. You feel me? Then people beat me and treat me like shit and drag me down the street. You know, just disrespect. Now they're going to sterilize me so I can't even produce myself. Feel me? This is not a good fit. This is just not a good fit. And I know this is as exciting as when we fight for, you know, men to be whatever they want to be, you know, we just condone all that kind of bullshit. Let's just be honest. You think our girls don't know that we don't value them? You think other black women don't know that we don't value them? You think they don't know? 75,000 of us missing. Ain't no search parties going on. You know, because don't nobody want to snitch on who took them or who has them, even with the sex trafficking. What does it say about a man's mindset or a woman's shit? Because, you know, we help you. Y'all can't do shit crazy without us being involved. You feel me? What does that say? That they're sterilizing black women. Why we don't have much to say about it? I don't hear a lot of black women organizations even taking on this shit here. Because, you know, it don't look right. You know, because we want to act like we like other people. We not like other people. We're not. You can lie to yourself and tell yourself that, but we are not. Even when you journey all the way to the continent. And they were saying in a lot of Muslim-led countries, there's a theme here, and I'm not against Muslims. My best friend is a Muslim, but let's just keep it real. Because we know that Islam, you know, was a part of the enslavement of Africans on the continent. Don't get it twisted, just like Christianity and the rest of them. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not romanticize people being enslaved to another people. Let's not romanticize this shit and not say it was the same. I don't think nobody wants to be owned by somebody else. Come on this morning, y'all. I don't believe that. So y'all can say that romanticism shit for you and your homies, but it don't work like that. We got black women on the continent of Africa being enslaved and heavily Muslim countries being forced to be Muslims. That's crazy. You know, that's that word submit again. So submit to the will of Allah. If everything is all good, you don't have to submit. You would just do what's right. That's why we gotta be careful with these play on words and the romanticism of the damn word. Because we like to do a lot of romanticism when we use words in the black community. You know, I started posting up about black girls being missing to show you how backwards we are as a people. I started posting that, everybody else posting everybody else missing but their own black fucking people. See, that's crazy. That says something about self-hatred, if we won't call it that. I just think that's you just a straight nigga. I'm not into like just being like, well, maybe there's a reason why people are missing. Like, no, boo-boo. You have to rationalize that. You know, I don't think that, you know, other women are weaker. I think other women have men who will ride for them and will tear some shit up when something happened to them. I'm not seeing that. If I see one more black boy tape a goddamn black woman being assaulted by any goddamn body, he need his ass whooped. Because you will not see that. I've watched white men. I've had an incident before where a white man stood up for his white woman who was wrong as shit, but he still stood up for her. So family, I know I talk about black girls and women are still missing, but I think all of this stuff is connected. I think the fact that we have, you know, black girls missing, you know, whether the sister who was just missing, Ivana, 17 years old from Newark, New Jersey, whether it was her just being missing, whether it's some sister who's been missing for a couple of years being missing. This is the sister Jana Bennett, 15 years old in Toledo, Ohio. I think all of these things are connected, family. I don't believe in incidences. I just don't. Whether these a bunch of Arab men, a whole bunch of these motherfuckers, excuse me for cussing, but they were motherfuckers. I'm so sorry to tell y'all that, but that's what they were. How they jumped on these two black women and whooped their ass. Come on. Dragged them down the street by their hair and beat them up. You should see it. Hitting them with shit. Look, man, oh my God. I don't even know where that was because that just makes my blood boil. But again, you feel me? That shit needs to be shut down. Or whether it's black women being sterilized in prisons here in the United States to cut down on them reproducing themselves. They claim it's about saving money, but give me a break. First of all, you owe them money because they're the descendants of people who were enslaved. So you really owe them money. So how the hell you gonna sterilize them so they can't produce themselves? Ain't that some shit? Or whether it's our sisters and brothers in the Bahamas, 75,000 of them are homeless right now. Like, y'all, come on, do the damn math. Some of y'all are so highly educated that you don't know shit. You know everything, but you don't know shit. You can't even connect these dots. This is not even a thought. You worried about your image with a group of people who don't even give a shit about you. But you are worried about your image. You know, that's crazy. That's straight up out the box crazy. Or rather, is a slavery going on still on the continent in heavily Arab countries. Now, it's funny we had that incident with the Arab punks or whatever beating up these two sisters. Well, hell, on the continent, they still enslaving black people. I mean, come on, y'all. Come on. And I know that's not something we want to talk about because black folks in America, some of us and some of our so-called leaders, I don't think they're leaders. I think those are people who were appointed for us. But I don't think they're like the true leaders of black folks in the United States. We always want to be in the group with people. We always want people to be our goddamn friends. These people are clearly not our friends. Clearly they're not. That they think they could come in the community and do some shit like that and attack people. And now they don't want to release their names. But it is up to us. To whom much is given, much is required. I used to hear that all the time. I looked at a biblical quote. But goddamn it, I don't see us as descendants really looking out for each other. Because there's some requirements in there that we look out for each other. That we be there for each other. It makes no sense to have all of these black girls and women missing. And we still sit here stuck on soup because we worried about some damn imagery. Family, we just gotta do better. We just gotta do better. So I wanted to come to y'all this morning, share that later on this evening. I'm gonna come back and I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit later on this evening about some of the things that are happening in our world across the United States. I'm concerned that, you know, we'll spend a lot of time talking about David Chappelle and political significance and all that bullshit. This man don't even live in our goddamn community. Why the fuck should we care about what he had to say? I mean, in terms of people being supported, like, oh, come on, y'all. We laugh at the wrong shit and we be concerned about the wrong shit. And I think that's our way of not being accountable to each other. That we would be just woed to sleep on some bullshit, then waking up and standing up and doing something. I don't give a fuck about you being woke. I care about you doing something. Because being awoke don't mean that you're doing something. Hell, most people can see, but very few of us have vision. I'd rather have vision than sight. The two are not the same thing. They're not mutually exclusive at all. So it makes no sense that we have all of these black girls and women missing. Again, this young sister, Ivana, 17 years old, missing from New Jersey. Somebody has seen her, family. Get a good look at her. Somebody has seen this little sister. She's missing. It is our job to bring our girls home. This sister right here been missing for about 2 years. Her name is Jenna Benson. She's 15 years old from Toledo, Ohio. She is 5'5", 140 pounds. Why have we not seen her? And I just don't believe there's some goddamn conspiracy with a whole bunch of, you know how we like to drum up shit, which means we can't do shit. I don't come from that. I come from a people who have always been accountable to each other and who have always taken care of each other. So whether if it's something like that's going on in the Bahamas, whether if that's something like black women being sterilized in prison, whether that is something like slavery going on the continent where they're concerning black girls and women of African descent, or Africans, they're on the continent. You know, whether if it's two black women being beaten down by a group of Arab punks in a gas station. God damn it. I come from a people who would have did something about that. And they didn't have social media. They didn't have none of this stuff. But they had accountability to each other. So what I want to say to y'all this morning is like, do something. I don't want to hear about your social women organizations you belong to. If y'all ain't got real issues on shit like this, stop. Don't fuck with me. Don't call me and ask me to do shit. All we want to do is have fun and feel good. How could the fuck can you feel good when you're constantly under attack and you sitting up there wanting to, you know, just I want to be high. Because I call it the fake high. I want to be high like I'm doing something, but really you ain't doing shit. All you doing is taking up fucking space. I look at it like this, family. When I'm gone, when I become an ancestor, I pray not only that my ancestors and the Most High or the Great Spirit will be proud of me, but I pray that generations whose names I will never know will be proud of me. That when I was here on the planet as a human being and as a part of their legacy, part of their just their background, their history, their ancestry, that they would say, you know, Mama Ro did something. Mama Ro would have did this, or that's what it comes down for me. That's what it comes down for me. Because don't nobody give a fuck if you know, took 50 plane rides, or don't nobody give a fuck about that when you gone. What they remember is how you impacted other people. That's what they remember. That's why people love Harriet Tubman. They ain't love her because she took a picture in a nice dress. They loved her because she put in work for our people. That's why we love Harriet Tubman. That's why I love Harriet Tubman. That's why when you go to her gravesite, people have cards and pictures and letters, and they love Harriet Tubman. And that's the kind of question we have to ask ourselves. When they look back at all of this, they will feel, well, what were we doing about it? What was our response? Did we sit there and wait for people who treat us like shit to help us? Or do we get up and go for self? So, family, enjoy your day. I just had to say those words today because I feel like this has got to change, y'all. It's not okay that black girls and women are missing or so devalued, even by people who look like them. And with that, family, y'all have a blessed Monday, and I'll see y'all this evening. Peace.